Hello. Is it dark image you're looking at? Maybe? This Hero 4 session had trouble last video setting its low light setting or whatever it was doing. It was all dark and then it was okay after like 5 seconds, so hopefully it's alright. Anyways, welcome to the Bad Shop. Another unboxing coming at you. This one is pretty exciting for me. This one was a gift from my wife for Christmas. Fortunately, this particular kit did not release in time for Christmas, so she thought her surprise was ruined, but I was pretty shocked to see a picture of that car in a box wrapped up. So I knew it was coming just whenever it was released, and it was released, when was it, like a week or so ago, I think. People who ordered direct got theirs already. I decided to wait, and I bought it from local hobby shop, and yeah, where actually I bought my previous TT02, which I'll dig out in a bit. So anyways, yeah, this is it, like I had mentioned. A TT02 number? Yes, this is the Eagle TT02 GRT RWD. This is the, I would guess you could say, the second RWD version of the Eagle TT02. Like I said, it was purchased at my local hobby shop, one of my favorite local hobby shops, Galaxy Hobby and Gift. See the man, Derry Tam. Flip his card over here, you can read some of his contact info. And he tends to stock a lot of drift stuff now. Derry always keeps a good stock of drift products, including Eagle parts, MST, HPI parts. He's got a couple other brands as well, so definitely check him out if you're in the area. He's in Mississauga. See that, Mississauga. And he also has a small drift track there. And if you check out some of the other videos on my Bad Shoppery YouTube, you will find some videos from his track. I have yet to make a video of his new track. They tightened up the layout. Feels like a mountain toge in Japan. It's really awesome. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this thing. So, let me spin this sort of around before I unbox it, and you can get a sort of a look at it. I chose the color purple, and I commend Eagle for doing a lot of different more colors this time. I mean, they only did 2 more, but that brought the grand total of colors of choice chassis to 4 different colors: purple, red, blue, and gold. I mean, I love gold, but this purple, I don't have a purple car, so this purple is going to look pretty cool in my collection. As you can see, there's several cars over there, and there's more cars up there, and there's more cars over there. Cars everywhere. Anyways, so I'm going to put you on one of these little turntable right here. We're going to cut this open. We're going to take a look at it, and we're going to see what it looks like up close in person. Now, I myself have not seen this up close in person yet. I've seen it in pictures, on the teasers, and all that stuff. Just watched my buddy's on-board video, Trovy Labs. Check him out, Trovy Labs on Facebook. I think he's got a review coming, but he did a driving video because people were demanding driving video. But for some of you who want a very real-life look at things, this is one way to get it. All right, so this is a bag of bits here. Get the camera. It's a bag of bits. I think I might cut this bag of bits open because I was told that apparently there's an extra set of shock bodies in here because this particular chassis has a unique style of shock. Here it is. Look at it. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. And the purple, though, I like the purple. It's a really nice. I like this purple. So I guess I'll get it out here as the stock wheels, Eagle wheels. They're a hard type of drift tire. I haven't tried them outside yet, but if you chew them on carpet, they are a little too grippy, which is strange, but when you put the throttle down, the car just shoots forward and grips. Actually, another thing I just noticed, which was not standard on the old TT02, is this rear gearbox, this part here. On the standard, or sorry, I say standard, on the TT02 FRD, this rear gearbox is plastic, and it's an optional extra to go aluminum, so I like that they've done that. That's a really nice touch. So let me get these Eagle wheels out of the way. Let's dive into the chassis. As always, Eagle provides you with an Eagle gyro. Now, the thing I like about the Eagle gyro is it may not be the super smoothest or, like the top of the gyro, but for me and for all the different servos and things different types of servos I've plugged into it, for me it seems to be the most compatible across things. Usually I'm a bit of an OMG guy. I like the OMG stuff, good bang for the buck. It looks pretty cool, and I even bought I even bought a purple servo today to match the car. It kind of matches. So anyways, like, this is the brushless servo. Yes, the D3 brushless servo. There's some specs for you. I don't really feel like reading them out because it's not about this right now, but you can get some specs there. I like these servos. They're good, they're fast, they get the job done, and they're made for drift. So, yeah, anyways, back to the stuff. So anyways, I like this Eagle gyro. It's good for pretty much all the things. There are a couple servos or like a couple scenarios or setups or other pieces of electronics where it is not entirely friendly through the whole setup. Sometimes you need extra cap, or it just doesn't work out. It's just not compatible, even though things are standardized. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Generally, I like them. They're good for the price. Locally, I can pick them up at Galaxy Hobby for about, I think it's either $35 or $39.99. It's a good price. Anyways, to the car. Let's get this thing out. And it's got a good amount of weight to it already, which is interesting. But I mean, look at it. It's immaculate. Oh my god. I love it already. I'm going to fix this knuckle because it's a little positioned there. Alright, now I'm just going to temporarily put it in my lap. Close this box. Sit it on top of the box. Let's have a look at the underside real quick. Yep, typical manufacturing marks. Typical marks from it just being placed into the box there. I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at. You could probably buff those out. That'll buff out, bro. Anyways, that looks nice. And I noticed, look at all the free holes. Now, I believe all these free holes here, all this, I believe that's for the battery mounting options, which this particular car, they provide you with enough parts and bits and bytes that you can mount the battery or batteries on this car apparently 14 different ways. That's, to me, like, it almost sounds overkill, but you know what? Some is good, more must be better. I mean, the old TT02, they say old, it's not really old. The TT02 FRD, it has, I think, it allows for maybe 3 or 4 position changes. If you make a rear diffuser mount, or you make like a top tray, top mounty piece that goes over the drive shaft area on that car, then probably. You can get 4 or 5, maybe even up to 6, I think, but 14, like, oh my god. Anyway, so I don't know which one I'll use. I'll probably start with the stock option, or mostly stock option, and we'll go from there. So let's dive into the front end here. Now, the coolest thing, I really like this front end. This just sort of changes a lot of things. Now, this style of front end, I'm told, and what I've researched, is called the VX style, VX dock style, with the servo sitting about here where my fingers are, and connecting about in the middle of here, which is a slide rack, as you can see. And this slide rack's riding on 4 ball bearings, which is, it's so smooth right now. And the other thing I'm noticing right away, people, is this, just moving this here, there's less slop in this than there was on probably the last 2 or 3 Eagle brand new kits that I've bought from the factory. So already I can see the fit and finish and the quality control has improved for this chassis. And that's nice, that's progression. I mean, Eagle's always, I believe, tried to do the best they can and provide the most high quality kit. And the last TT02 was really good, but there was a little bit of noticeable slop, but easily fixed. Not a big deal. But this, though, feels super smooth, and there's like next to no slop going on here. The other neat thing is this particular knuckle. You see how it's kind of curved? I like that. Look at that. It allows for quite a good angle right out the box. I might not even change that. I'll just run it stock and see what it's like. Just make sure it's got maybe a little toe out or something. What's next? So much on this chassis. These shocks. Now, I've seen a few new owners posting about these shocks because they are kind of baffling people. They're a slightly different type of shock that was used from, I think, back in the day, late 90s, early stuff like that. Although there are people who are saying, like, the 1.5 Bajas and HPI Bajas and stuff just run similar type of shock. I forget the word that was used to describe it, but basically it's it's described, the way it works is you fill the shock to the threads of the cap inside the shock body, and then you use the cap to twist and adjust your damping force for the shock. So I don't fully understand it myself, but I'm going to do some reading to more understand it. Some guys are running it with full oil, some are running it with just mere drops, and some are running it bone dry, I believe. So yeah, everyone's sort of just trying all kinds of things with it. We'll see what happens there. I'm just going to try and follow the instructions and get them working as smoothly, I guess, as I can. Yeah, I mean, it looks good in the front end here. It looks really nice. The fit and finish of things looks really nice. And even like the upper arms, see all those shims there? Like, this is not really moving at all. This here. On other Eagle kits, this would like have just a teeny bit of slop, a slightly noticeable slop, but probably not enough to really affect the car in drifting. But a perfectionist would fix it. But for me, generally they just worked. And then when maintenance time comes, then check everything, shim things, and make it more smooth. But that's amazing. That's really good. I'm impressed with that, to be honest. That is, you know what? Already, just this front end, I'm convinced worth the money. It's definitely worth it right now if you're looking for a nice, high-optioned drift chassis with lots of features and new sort of ideas in it. And that's kind of what Eagle does. Eagle takes a lot of ideas and, you know, puts their own little spin on it and makes tributes to great other chassis. They've done a number of Tamiya cars, and they did a clone of the OTA R31, I believe. So, I mean, you know, they're just doing great. And I mean, look at this rear end right here. This is where the motor will sit. I actually have a spare motor sitting over here. It happens to be bolted. It happens to be soldered to an OMG ESC because it is an OMG. So let me just move this around like this. The motor will sit something like this. Now, how about that, eh? So the motor will sit up like that, and then, you know, you adjust it up and down. But the point of the motor sitting in this position is for like a high center of gravity, sort of like a roll mod. And a lot of the guys in and around the international scene, drift scene, that I've noticed on Facebook groups, forums, websites, all that stuff, this is becoming a lot more popular style of roll mod, and it seems to be working for a lot of people on a lot of different chassis. And people are making custom mounts. I mean, even for the Sakura D4, I forget who did it. It might have been Usukani or it might have been Overdose. I can't remember exactly. It's kind of late. Can't remember exactly, but the motor mount position on that car changed from like being down around here to being like up around here, like much higher. So same idea, just slightly different orientation. So that's really cool. Moving this rear drivetrain, this is a direct drive rear drivetrain. The power goes straight from this spur gear into to the input shaft here, well, through the shaft, and then to your sort of like your pinion gear here, your idler. Oh, brain's shutting down. From gear here to the diff gear and out to the wheels. Look at that. And I can tell you, look at, oh, this is so smooth, and the bearings are nice and tight and shimmed. Wow. Eagle they really stepped it up. I am much impressed. So if your TT02 does not have the fit and finish you are seeing here, I would email them, because this is quite good now. This is getting much better. I'm very pleased with this. Excuse me while I clear my throat. But yeah, the big touch for me is this aluminum gear case. That is really sweet, to be honest. That is just, oh, it's amazing. I'll just give you a little tour around here now, since I've done a good amount of talking and gone over most of the things. There are some other features I haven't mentioned yet, which I will call up on my little computer now over here. So like I said, 14 different battery configurations. Front-centered servo mount, which is this VX docky area thing with the slide rack. The chassis is carbon and aluminum, anodized in purple in this case. Aluminum rear gearbox, aluminum front mounts, aluminum front and rear knuckles, aluminum upper and lower suspension mounts, like the list goes on. Direct gear driven differential, which is true, like I was just saying. Direct drive. Raised motor mount rear positioning, which is right here. The other information I've got noted here is it says 3 sets of carbon fiber battery mounts for 14 different battery configurations. This is crazy. And yes, gyro included, and you will need to provide your own electronics, other than the gyro, which is pretty sweet to include a gyro. For reference, the Sakura D4 kit does not include a gyro in the rear-wheel drive kit. So that kit is very, very well priced for what it is, and it's a very good drift car, but no gyro, so you have to buy a gyro. And the Eagle gyro works good in it. I have one in my D4. Yeah, so you know what? So now, since we got this other little this bag of things here, I will cut this open. Well, somewhat cut it open. And then we'll see what's inside of it, because I was told there was another set of shock bodies, but that might be a fib. That might have been a misread or a misinformation. Not for ill will, just, you know, sometimes your brain plays tricks on you. But anyways, look at all these things. My lord. O-rings. This is the battery mount O-rings. These are little plastic nuts. I can't remember exactly what those are for. Set screws. This is some that feels like plastic bushing or O-ring, and a wrench for I'm not sure exactly what. Doesn't look like a turnbuckle wrench. Could be the shock wrench actually. Could be for the shock cap adjustment. That just hit me. Ooh, what's this? I have no clue. Oh, servo horn. Really, that's interesting. No clue exactly how all this goes together, but that's for a servo. I don't know what servo brand. This looks like just more mounting hardware, possibly for servo in the front of that VX dock or something like that. We'll find out. This looks like this is for battery spacers and screws, positionings and stuff. This is, these are extra springs, but these are all the same color. Oh wait, here we go. There is color markings on the top. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to try and make it clear. There we go. Can you make that out? Yeah, see? Purpley bluish. I'm a bit colorblind, so that looks like my brain says purple, but it's probably blue, to be honest. That looks like green, but it could not be. It's late and I'm colorblind, so I'm not even going to try. You can comment and tell me what color they are and help me out. But that's where the colors are for these, and I'm going to have to figure out what is what. In the old days, blue was hard, and red was soft, and green was medium, I think, for Eagle. Here is, oh wow, yeah, this is the package of battery mounts. There are already 2 mounts on the car in the middle. I'm just going to show you real quick. These things here, these are for like a shorty in the middle, I think, up front. I'm guessing that's a shorty pack size. And then this is so you can do the other like 13 battery configs. That's pretty cool. I don't know how they thought all those out, but that's well done. And yeah, body clips, body posts. Oh, body post. Now, here's the thing with the body posts, which a lot of people probably don't know about the Eagle kits. Thing I've noticed is, like for example, I have the Eagle TT01, which I've made rear-wheel drive, but it came as a CS car. I had an Eagle TA05, sold it back to a good buddy, Chovy Labs. I have 2 R31s that are modified heavily by the previous owners, sorry. They're like my museum pieces, and they do get run. I have Eagle TT02, which I'll bring out for a quick comparison, side by side here. TT02 FRD rear-wheel drive. And yeah, I think that's all the Eagle cars I've had. Now, the thing is with the Eagle cars, especially the ones with the Tamiya ones they do, these body posts are basically identical to the Tamiyas. They might be off by like a tad, but they're pretty much bang on. The thing I like is the body post geometry is maintained from the Tamiya spec to the Eagle car. The way they do that. So I tested this. I had a couple of bodies, some that were drilled from the factory for TT02, Tamiya TT02, and that came in a TT02 kit. And then there was another one I got that was already pre-drilled and many years old. That was drilled for TT01 that had one of these other different post configurations. And there's 3 different post configurations you can swip swap. Anyways, so I tested them, and I dropped the TT01 and TT02 bodies onto the respective Tamiya chassis, dropped them on, fit perfectly, figured out what body posts I'd have to use for the Eagle car. Put those same body posts on the Eagle car, moved the body, dropped right on. Now the only thing that was interesting that I noted in the test was some of the bodies I used were 190 mils and some were 200. So on the Eagle cars, the 190 mils kind of looked like this, and the wheels were popping out. But the body post geometry was bang on when you use the right post. So that's really cool. Yeah, so just a little piece of info there that probably not a lot of people know about, but I'm able to swap bodies, or let's say buy a Tamiya 200 mil body if it has pre-drilled holes. So long as it was set up for a TT01 or a TT02, doesn't matter what model, so long as it's that base chassis, it should fit on the Eagle car directly with just changing to the right same body post. So that's really cool. Now, after all that, the hoopla, I'm going to dig out real quick. I'm going to dig out my TT02, my TT02 FRD, and we'll do a quick side-by-side comparison. Okay. Like I said, I got cars everywhere, but I love it. Okay, here it is. Now, I'm going to just move you guys a little bit. You'll probably figure out what body this is as soon as this gets dropped into shot. Yep. So, let me undo the body. Oops. And I'll give you a quick little overview of it. This is my TT02 FRD RWD. Bought it last year when it launched, from the same place actually, from this place, Galaxy Hobby. And I did an unboxing video from the hobby shop, which is on my YouTube. You can go check it out if you want more in depth about this. Anyways, this is the body I'm running on it. It came, I got it as a gift from my dad a long time ago, once upon a time, from a local hobby shop. And it was, I believe, distributed by Bowlink. This is an old Bowlink, and it's been on many different cars. And they did distribute these decals with it. I have the remolded ones from RJ Speed, no decals, so I have to source some decals. And the reason why the fenders are cut so wide is because this was on a stadium truck in its beginning of its life, but you know what, as a crazy drift missile, it just works, so whatever. Anyways, remove the lid here. We'll put the lid down here. Here it is. There is the TT02 FRD. Now this one is running, and look, I color matched the servo back in the day. As you can see, full OMG setup, and I like this car. It does need a little bit of maintenance tune because I haven't run it in a bit, but I did mess with the steering based on a couple recommendations from Trophy Labs and a few other people. Installed TRF shocks on it, which are very nice. And what else? Oh, and I opted to get the rear aluminum gear case. So this was an optional extra. I had to purchase this after the fact, but honestly it was worth it. It kind of strengthened up the rear end a bit. Yeah, so if you compare them side by side, you can see the differences right away. This chassis utilizes best of both worlds, belt and shaft. I think we were calling it a shelt when it was released. So anyways, the motor's up front. You get a belt sort of gear reduction tranny, belt pulley reduction tranny, out to a shaft out to the rear end. So the change is they've changed all this, taken the motor right out, dropped it right back here for this, put the spur gear right in the middle between here, essentially. They haven't really changed the rear arms. They look very similar to they look similar between. The upper link is different. What else? Well, obviously all this bits, but I mean those other parts are sort of the same. The rear diffusers are pretty much the same, and you can even see the body post geometry is pretty much the same. I will test that, but I'm pretty sure it is the same. And then in the front, with the motor gone out to the rear, sort of kept the same, not entirely the same, but like where the shock tower is, they didn't really change that too much, and then swapped out where that motor is. Now you put a servo. This reminds me of the reverse Tamiya F1 car, or basically any RC F1 car, where the servo is mounted about here and away it goes, and then the odd one has it in the other way. So this is standing up and down. Look, I happen to have a servo chilling. So it'll probably be something like, my guess is something like that. That's how the servo sits in. And I haven't, this is just from pictures I've looked at without the servo mounted. So that's probably what it will look like. I mean, with this probably right there actually. Oh, and now I get it. Now, haha, ding ding ding. Now I know why this is like this. Right? And this is like adjustable or whatever. Aha, learning things. Well, that'll be fun. So, yeah, there you go. A bit of a comparison. Side by side, unboxing, learning things, and yeah, like, I'm stoked. I can't wait to get this going, and I'm probably going to rewatch my buddy Trophy Lab's onboard video again, because it was pretty cool. And I can see how the front suspension works again and all that stuff. I don't know if he did like a rear facing as well, but he definitely did one like this, shooting off the car from the chassis side, which I'll probably make a couple of as well. Maybe we'll do a shootout again, because our last video we collaborated on, the TT02 versus R31 shootout, or showdown I think it is, that's I think my most popular video to date. So, we might do another one. But anyways, there it is, the Eagle GRT RWD TT02. And it is a beauty. I think well worth the money. The fit finish is quite well. The quality is high, I would say. And yeah, that fit finish is just so nice in certain areas. What I've also heard as a final word here is the chassis, my buddy's chassis again, Trophy Labs. He had told me, oh look, I just noticed. Holy cow, that's an aluminum rear gear adapter. I just noticed that. I don't know if any of you guys noticed it, but wow, sweet. Anyways, he said the chassis has been pre-Loctite from the factory, which is a new thing. We did not see that on this car or pretty much any other car. At least I didn't. So I'm going to check and verify that, and if that's true, I will note that later on in like comments or something, that the chassis has its Loctite in certain areas. But I will go back through it and, you know, prep it and everything just to be safe. It can never be too safe. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, unboxing Eagle TT02 RWD GRT. Get one, worth it, in my opinion, so far. Just gotta drive it and go from there and pick a body. Oh man. Anyways, if you like this video, definitely more to come for sure. I haven't done one in a while. This is probably the second one in a few days. And yeah, like, subscribe, tell your friends, share it, comment, all the things. This is definitely a chassis to watch out for this year, because I think a lot of people will purchase it, and I think we'll see a lot of even custom, more crazier mods, even after all this has been well thought out. Alright, so I'll leave you with the chassis, and have a good night. Happy drifting, y'all.